A new video is going viral and it's claiming Megan Thee Stallion actually paid to have Tory Lanez killed in jail. Yeah, you heard that right. Apparently there was new evidence about to drop in their case.
Tory was stabbed 14 times just days after a major national news outlet reached out to Megan Pete's team about a story on new evidence in this.
So now everyone's asking, did Megan really pay to take him out just to stop that evidence from ever coming out? Let's get into it. The video that shook the internet on May 12, 2025. Tory, who's currently serving a 10-year bid for allegedly shooting Megan Thee Stallion, caught a serious fate in prison. According to multiple sources, Tory was stabbed a whopping 14 times by another inmate at California Correctional Institution in Tachi. The California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation confirmed Tory was provided immediate medical aid and transported to an outside hospital. And this wasn't no little scuffle. Imagine getting hit 7 times in your back, 4 in your torso, 2 in the back of your head, and once in your face. That's the type of beatdown most don't walk away from. You feel me? Tory suffered severe injuries including collapsed lungs and was placed on a breathing aid, but according to his attorney Jose Baez, who spoke to TMZ, Tory is upbeat and good spirits and expected to make a recovery. Now here's where things get really interesting. As soon as word hit the streets about Tory catching these shanks, social media went absolutely bonkers with speculation about Megan Thee Stallion's involvement. The Twitter fingers were moving at lightning speed, with some of Tory's supporters claiming this was somehow connected to me and her team. One user on X claimed Megan Thee Stallion needs to be held to account along with Jay-Z for the position Tory Lanez is in. He added Jay funded the cover-up to protect his artist, and Tory has now been stabbed 14 times over a crime he did not commit. Another user straight up accused Megan of framing Tory, posting Megan Thee Stallion pulled a weapon while drunk and jealous off 1942 in Calabasas, which resulted in a fake shooting. She framed Tory Lanez for the wild speculation that didn't stop there. Another went off saying Megan Thee Stallion fans are wrong for questioning if Tory was stabbed when they have been defending a compulsive liar this whole time.
The only independent witness in this courtroom is a man whose name is Sean Kelly. He came to court, and our attorneys, he would not even shake their hand.
When Megan Thee Stallion stepped into that LA courtroom that day, it wasn't about bars or Billboard charts, it was about truth. Under oath she faced the jury and laid it all out. Her first words hit hard. She couldn't believe she had to relive it in front of strangers, but she showed up anyway. According to Megan, it all started at a party in the Hollywood Hills thrown by Kylie Jenner. The vibe turned sour after the event when Megan got into an argument with Tory during the ride back. She said things popped off after she joked about his music skills, something that clearly hit a nerve. The tension snapped quick. Megan said she asked to get out the car, tired of the back and forth. That's when she claims Tory started yelling at her to dance, and the next thing she knew, gunshots rang out. She said he opened fire with a handgun. The jury heard that Megan left a blood trail at the scene, proof that the damage was real, and it wasn't just her saying it. Right after the shots, her friend reportedly texted Megan's security with a straight-up message asking for help and claiming Tory shot Megan before the bullets flew, and the headlines took over. Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez were tied real tight behind the scenes. Their relationship was buzzing with energy, collabs, and a whole lot of late-night link-ups. It wasn't just industry talk either. These two were seen everywhere together in the months leading up to the 2020 shooting, sparking rumors of more than just a musical bond. They first connected through music. Tory had a habit of hopping on live during the quarantine era with his viral quarantine radio, and Megan pulled up as a frequent guest. Fans loved the chemistry, the laughs, the banter, the vibes. It all felt natural. Then they started popping up in the same spaces, chilling in studios and partying in close circles, especially during the height of the pandemic when most people were locked in. Tory was even seen kicking it at Megan's crib on multiple occasions. That's when the rumors started swirling. Were both hot, young and thriving, but behind the scenes not everything was as smooth as it looked. Word on the street is that their dynamic got complicated pretty fast. There were reports of jealousy, control issues and arguments. According to multiple sources, after the incident, emotions ran high the night of the shooting, with alcohol and ego clashing hard. Some insiders said Tory was feeling some type of way about Megan's rising fame, while others claimed jealousy sparked when Megan started showing attention to other men. Still, none of that was ever confirmed publicly. It all stayed in the shadows until it exploded into chaos that July night. But before that point, Tory and Megan were seen at that party acting acting cool, even playful. After the incident, Megan unfollowed Tory and stayed silent at first, but later she went public on Instagram Live, straight up naming him as the shooter. Before the shots rang out, they were close, possibly lovers, definitely collaborators, and always in each other's orbit, but that relationship crumbled in one night, turning from viral moments and inside jokes to courtrooms and criminal charges. Some say Tory was getting a little too comfortable with Kylie, which may have been the spark that lit the flame. So did Megan really set up Tory? It's all still obscure since the recent prison attack on Tory Lanez. Megan Thee Stallion has maintained her stance of not publicly addressing the incident. This is raising a lot of talks about what she might be going through right now. The incident and the trial in October 2020, Tory was charged with felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm and carrying a loaded unregistered firearm. A protective order was issued barring him from contacting Megan or coming within 100 years of her. This came after another incident where Tory shot Megan Thee Stallion in the leg. But did Tory respect that order? Nah, he violated it multiple times. In 2021 he performed at Rolling Loud where Megan was present, leading to his bail being increased from $19. Contributors found on the gun. The trial finally kicked off in December 2022. Megan took the stand and testified about the shooting, claiming Tory offered her $1 million to stay silent and apologized, saying he was too drunk. Kelsey Harris, who was present during the incident, gave conflicting testimony, invoking immunity and denying seeing Tory shoot. On December 23, 2022, the jury returned their verdict. Tory was found guilty on all three charges. The sentencing didn't come until August 2023, when Tory was hit with a 10-year prison sentence. After a two-day hearing, prosecutors cited his campaign to humiliate and re-traumatize Megan via social media and music, including his 2020 album Daystar, which questioned her account of the shooting. Judge David Haraford specifically noted Tory's post-shooting harassment as an aggravating factor in the sentencing decision. The defense pointed to inconclusive DNA evidence with 4 contributors found on the gun and suggested Kelsey Harris could have been the shooter. They also highlighted Megan's initial statement about the broken glass to question her credibility throughout this whole ordeal. The hip-hop community was deeply divided. Artists like JoJo Honey and Tana Burke backed Megan, condemning the skepticism and harassment she faced. 50 Cent initially questioned her account but later apologized after trial evidence emerged on the other side. Some fans and artists, including Drake and Iggy Azalea, seemed to side with Lanez. Drake's 2022 song Coco Loco implied Megan lied, and Azalea wrote a letter supporting Lanez at his sentencing. While Tory was serving his sentence, the legal battles continued. He appealed his conviction, filing habeas corpus petitions claiming actual innocence and alleging improper evidence. In July 2024, his team filed a motion citing a statement from driver Joe Smith, who claimed Kelsey Harris held a gun, but this was rejected as not being new evidence. Now, despite the court rulings, the misinformation campaign didn't stop. In fact, in October,
we fuss about silly stuff all the time, but I never put my hands on anybody. I never raised my voice too loud. Like, this was one of them times where it was like, it shouldn't have got this crazy.
Things escalated real quick. Megan testified that she exited the vehicle, and that's when Tory allegedly shot at her feet multiple times in her own words.
Right. That it did. So I get out the car and it's like everything happens so fast. And all I hear is this man screaming, he said, dance, and he started shooting. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, he shot a couple of times.
Megan initially told police her injuries were from broken glass, later explaining she feared escalation and distrusted police due to systemic issues. This initial misstatement would later become a major point of contention and fuel conspiracy theories. The same morning, around 4:30 a.m., LAPD received reports of gunshots in the Hollywood Hills area. Tory was arrested that morning for carrying a concealed weapon in a vehicle and released on $35,000 bail. Things were relatively quiet until August 20, 2020, when Megan took to Instagram Live and confirmed what many had been speculating, that Tory Lanez was the one who shot her. She made this public statement to counter misinformation being spread by Tory's team and posted photos of her injuries to refute skepticism. Now here's where things get even messier. Tory's team allegedly sent fake emails posing as Megan's label 300 Entertainment to media outlets claiming she didn't want to testify against him. This kind of behind-the-scenes behind-the-scenes maneuvering would continue throughout the case, so now we've got the full picture of what went down between Megan and Tory, but folks aren't buying any of that. They're stringing Megan up to multiple accusations, and this may lead to some tough incidents in the future. The uncertainties that lie ahead. In October 2024, Megan stepped her legal game up by filing a defamation lawsuit against blogger Magro Graham's real name Magro Cooper. The lawsuit alleged that Grahams was spreading lies as Tory's puppet, including false claims about missing evidence and even a deepfake video. Megan wasn't playing around anymore. She was ready to take on not just Tory but his entire support network, and that wasn't all. By December 2024, she sought a restraining order against Tory, alleging he was orchestrating harassment from behind bars via third parties like Grahams. A temporary order was granted in November 2024, and after a hearing it was extended all the way to January 9, 2030. That's right, 5 whole years of legally mandated distant battlefield with misinformation spreading faster than facts. Platforms like X became ground zero for false narratives, with posts by DJ Academics, Daily Loud and others pushing stories that had already been debunked, while journalists like Megan Cuniff and Community Notes tried to counter these falsehoods. The damage was often already done. Tory's support team, including an organization called Unite the People, contributed to the confusion by framing procedural court orders as victories, fueling false innocence claims that spread like wildfire across social platforms. Meanwhile, as Tory was battling legal issues, Megan was reclaiming her narrative. Her October 2024 documentary, in her words, detailed her struggles with anxiety and depression following the shooting, giving fans an intimate look at the toll this situation took on her mental health. The documentary amplified support for her, with many viewing her as a survivor speaking her truth. Likewise, in her powerful New York Times op-ed, Megan emphasized the urgent need to protect Black women, elevating feminist discourse and forcing the culture to confront the uncomfortable truths about who gets believed and protected in our society. Fast forward to May 12, 2025, the day Tory Lanez was stabbed 14 times at California Correctional Institution. The attack immediately reopened all debates, with Tory supporters using it as evidence that he was innocent or being targeted. Social media immediately lit up with wild speculations. Posts suggesting Megan was somehow involved or paying for her alleged actions gained traction despite having zero evidence to back them up. It's a classic example of how narratives can take on a life of their own, especially in cases that have already deeply divided public opinion. Some ex-posts initially exaggerated Tory's condition, claiming he was on life support or in critical condition, which could imply a risk of death. Some even claimed he had 2 stabs in the head. These posts inaccurately suggested Tory was still on live suit.
Let's start by making it very clear that Meg Thee Stallion is not on trial. This is not Meg Thee Stallion versus Tory Lanez. This is the state versus Tory Lanez, a trial in which Meg has testified in because Tory has been accused of shooting Meg in the feet in July 2020.
After the shooting incident on May 12, Tory's legal folks are bringing in some new claims. Tory Lanez, known to the court, says Dr. Peterson might be sitting behind bars, but his team is far from done. On May 14, his legal squad pulled up heavy with new receipts that say loud and clear Tory never pulled the trigger. The night Megan Thee Stallion we got shot in the Hollywood Hills, the press conference was hosted by Unite the People, a non-profit that rolls deep with lawyers and activists fighting for justice in the streets. In the courtroom leading the charge is Gianno Caldwell, who's been working overtime to make sure Tory gets the fair shot he never had. He says Tory's trial was tainted from the jump by media hype, politics and bias from the bench. This all comes just days after Tory got stabbed up in prison. A convicted killer named Santino Casio, already doing life for murder, reportedly ran up on him and left him with wounds to his back of his head, face and torso. Tory's been recovering at a Bakersfield Hospital ever since. According to his father, Sunstar Peterson, things got so bad Tory had to be airlifted out just to survive, putting pressure on California Governor Gavin Newsom to step in and bring Tory home. They're saying the system got it all wrong. Unite the People CEO Caesar McDowell stepped up and said what many have been thinking: it's time to stop playing and bring the man back. Attorney Walter Roberts backed it up, playing out a different version of the night. According to him, it wasn't Tory who fired the shots. He says it was Megan's ex-best friend Kelsey Harris, who let off 3 rounds during a fight with Megan. Tory allegedly tried to stop her by grabbing her arm and 2 more shots went off. Roberts made it clear Tory never fired the gun, never hit anyone, never even touched the weapon. Roberts pointed out there were 3 people in that car, but only Tory's DNA was tested, even though the gun had unknown DNA on it. That's a red flag. Diana London, head of the Secret Weapon Agency with former LA District Attorney George Gaskin-Quell, says Gaskin added enhancements to Tory's charges, something he rarely did for other defendants, and he did it in a case with no solid forensics, shaky witness statements, and no criminal history on Tory's record. Quell also exposed holes in the evidence handling. He said there were multiple people with gunshot residue on their hands that night, but only Tory was fully tested. DNA from the gun didn't match Tory, and analysis showed only a 0.01% chance he even touched it. Then there's the mystery of Kelsey Harris pleading the Fifth. Caldwell asked why she'd do that when nobody accused her of anything, and why did she get immunity if there was nothing to hide. That move raised more questions than answers. As of now, Megan Thee Stallion and her team haven't responded, but the noise is getting louder in the fight for Tory's freedom. Now the team has just hit a new level. The prison attack is currently under investigation by the prison's investigative services unit and the Kern County District Attorney's Office, although no official statements indicate any connection to Megan or suggest she's in any kind of legal trouble related to the incident. So where does this leave us now? The facts are clear. Tory Lanez was convicted of shooting Megan Thee Stallion after a trial that examined substantial evidence he got shot while in prison. His legal folks are asking for a reassessment of the case, and social media claims suggest Megan is in serious trouble, even though there's no substantiated evidence supporting these narratives. So it's important to stay guided. What we're seeing now may be a continuation of a pattern that's been present since 2020: misinformation, conspiracy theories, and victim blaming. And let's be real for a second, these social media claims and narratives have gained traction after false 2024 claims of Tory's innocence, which were debunked by outlets like Billboard and journalists like Megan Thee. The reality is there's no verified